Call to order our meeting at 6:05 PM. Roll call. Armin Menicia,
Here.
Ed Aram.
Yeah.
Sue Ferguson,
Here.
and Ally.
Here.
Fiona.
Here.
John.
Here.
What's your name again? Ellen. John Kisco. Jess Richardson. Kathy. Toner. Marissa. And do we know if the
She's so
Prentice
cute.
is, did you say Sue is on? Is Sue on or no? The Prentice?
We have anyone on the line? No one?
On the public now?
No, is the Sue DeFreitas on?
No, she's not.
Okay.
Okay, so she might not.
We just Kathy and Jess.
Do I have a motion for the approval of the agenda?
Well, did you mention that Nikki Fabiano is going to be late?
And Nikki Fabiano will be here shortly, and that's actually Sandy Mangan will not be
Present.
present tonight. She had a prior engagement because the dates were changed.
Yeah.
The nights were
Oh, right,
changed.
okay.
So.
What do you want? I'm sorry.
I'd like to have
You did roll call, approval of agenda.
Approval of agenda.
All right. I will motion to approve the agenda.
Can an
Second.
outsider make a comment?
Absolutely.
Well, we have to second first. Did you
Yeah,
second?
you got a
I've
second.
taken a
Second.
You
Okay,
got
go ahead.
Left a second.
I'm looking at the
You know,
technology
you got a second the
update.
motion.
We are getting free funded, state funded Wi-Fi. I just wonder if, you know, nothing is free, and I wonder what you wanted to say there.
Where are you looking?
Please, in your minutes.
Well, we're on the
The
agenda right now.
Yeah, we didn't
Well,
get
I
the
thought-
minutes
I
yet.
heard
No,
minutes.
we didn't have it even,
No, it's
we're
agenda.
approving the
No.
agenda right now.
All right.
All right, so
I did second.
all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approval of minutes.
And
Yes,
that's-
Phil?
okay, never
I
mind.
think you guys have to move this to the end of the meeting till Nikki gets back.
Move what?
Why, they have a
The
quorum.
They said.
It's you two plus
It's those two and
Ed,
Nikki.
Corey, and Nikki.
Ed is the alternate.
He's not an alternate anymore. Remember, we changed the bylaws,
Oh, that's
For
right.
facilities?
facilities and budget.
Here comes
Oh, so you can't approve
Yeah.
it.
Nikki's
Okay,
here.
so
Okay.
let's stop.
Nikki's
and then
here.
approve.
I
Let's
just don't
stop
want
for a
any
minute.
question later on, so.
Yeah.
No,
Nikki,
I didn't realize. Now I know what you're saying about that, right?
Okay, so we told you an untruth before. We need you to be the, for the
Okay,
quorum.
sorry.
That's
Yeah, we
okay.
just started. We're good.
Good thing I was fast.
So
So do it again.
do we do even the,
No, just approval of the minutes.
okay.
We didn't get that far yet.
I mean, approval of the agenda.
I'll move,
Hey,
I'll
well,
move
let's
it.
let her look at it first.
No, just the
I
agenda.
read it.
The
Oh, you did,
agenda.
okay.
Oh, there's agendas back.
Yeah, I read it.
There's agendas and minutes.
All right, do we have a motion for the approval of the agenda?
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
No, it's Armin and Nikki,
Yes.
okay?
Do we have, well, approval of minutes, anybody have any,
I'll
This
remind
year's.
us of my comment about free funded, state funded. nothing
Yeah.
is free anyway.
I can elaborate on that.
Oh, we gotta move. Motion to approve the minutes. I'll move it.
Second.
Second.
all in
Discussion.
favor? Oh, discussion.
And where was that comment?
Second
Oh,
page,
D?
D technology. We are getting free funded, state funded
Oh,
Wi-Fi.
how about just we are getting state funded Wi-Fi?
Okay, you open that. 17th or the?
Free,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, no
Would you
cost.
like the actual wording for?
Right. State funded.
How about
Ally
just
asked,
the-
do you want the actual wording?
What's
you
the
want the
actual
actual
Yeah, I
wording?
know.
wording?
wording
I mean, the meeting
is,
itself,
it is
or-
provided by the Everyone Learns Wi-Fi initiative of the state of Connecticut.
Did Marissa get that?
Marissa,
did you hear that?
No,
Yeah,
No,
maybe-
no, I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
She's gonna put it in the chat.
Okay.
Motion to add that, or was that simply?
Yeah. Well,
so it's as amended?
so as amended,
As amended.
all in favor?
All in favor? Thank you for coming tonight.
Aye.
All right, we have a lot of pages here.
Okay. And then-
Public participation, is somebody on it? Nobody's on? Okay.
Nobody.
Discussion steps, next steps.
Security grant.
Yep, number one is security grant update.
So nothing really big to update, other than the fact that we do have contractors currently putting together project estimates and quotes on the things that we discussed in executive session last week.
Okay.
So we're working on those. More news to come on that. We still haven't heard from the state on whether or not or when the grant is going to be released. It's anticipated to be released in April. So we're trying to be prepared to throw as much against the wall as we can when the grant comes, see what we can get out of it.
Very good.
Anybody have any questions? Window project update.
Windows again.
Yeah, well, just let you know we have at least 7 reports that we have to file with the state. So we're doing it. We just got the okay from, who's that fellow?
William Turley, that's the SCG 9000 form that says that we have security plans in place. They've been handed into the state, and although the state has not reviewed them, they did give us the letter that we need to proceed with our project.
So we're filling out the indoor air quality certification, the natural light and wireless connectivity letter, the school safety infrastructure letter, the window letter of form SCG 3021 and 3022, and the designated accessible school letter, accessibility letter for the school. So we hope to get those finished by Monday and set up a meeting with the state to review the letters and our specs.
So these are all required for us to apply for the grant. We have to go up there with these letters in hand already set, or they don't even want to talk to us.
Is that related to the security or the windows?
The
It's
windows.
related to the window
Windows, yeah.
project.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so every single time you do a project in a building, you have to go through this list of letters, and that's what's required for you to even get into the office up there to start the process.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
No. Because
I just have one. So then, does it go out to bid after that?
Well, yeah, the state, we go to the state, they look and make sure we have all the things, they look at our plans, and then they come back with say, oh, well, you forgot this, you forgot
Yeah.
this.
Right.
Send it back, then you can go out to bid.
Okay.
And we have, what's his name? At the state. Kermit
Yeah.
is our person who looks at it. He's very good. Does it quick,
Yeah.
just like he did the
roof project.
roof project.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Great.
So
Okay.
how long do you think that'll take? You don't know. Week, 2 weeks?
If we get in in 2.5 weeks, and then hopefully by end of April, we'll go out to bid. So we'll get a firm
firm number. right?
number.
April, so what would happen if for some reason we weren't able to get started over the summer? Is there a phase plan, or is it simply we'd have to wait a year?
Well, there's two sides of this. I did a window project in Danbury High School. And part of it, and that was asbestos rebatement and all that stuff. We cleared out 4 rooms. They did the 4 rooms. They come back. So I don't know if we could do it here, but we've done it at Danbury High School. And that's a huge high school.
We have to, I think what we have to do at this point is get through this part of the process to see where we're going to land
Right.
with a time frame and our ability to, because the one thing that's going to hurt us in being that it's in April is probably what's going to hurt us is material. Getting material. We're going to be out a distance of material, so we may have to look at a phasing plan.
That's what I was asking. You can ask them the price of the phase way as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Love it. You have 2 options.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a bigger number, obviously.
The aluminum, I forgot what kind of, the aluminum is way out there and,
Yeah, aluminum's one of the biggest issues right now.
We got top to Ford.
Maybe we'll be talking about it next year. I hope not.
Let's put this project.
Alliance Construction Grant
Yeah,
update.
the stair treads, the final stair treads were delivered today. So they're gonna start working next week at night to do it. Remember, we told them they'll do a staircase and make sure it's fixed before they do anything else, so there's no liability. It's done, so they can, if they can't do a whole stair tread, if they only can do one, they're gonna do it at night. And that's been in the price, so it's no problem. But we don't wanna have half a stair tread,
Right.
half a stairway done.
Yep.
So they know that. They've been very good.
They've been great.
Yeah.
Good.
And that's the same company that won the refinishing of the gym floor. And that won't start till the summer, because can't do anything. Lighting project is done. They finished everything. And you can tell them.
Ceiling tile project.
No,
is-
go over the lighting
Oh,
project.
lighting.
Yeah.
Lighting project is done. I believe the payment was processed. The
Processed,
invoice
yep.
was going to, the payment was processed for it. The school, if you haven't been up there, looks phenomenal. Nice crisp lighting in the building. We've had a few teachers that have, complained about the difference in the lighting, because you go from a yellow light to a white crisp light, and boy, it hurts the eyes, but they do burn in, and it really does look great. And $52,000 a year in electricity savings is going to be a huge benefit.
Oh, yeah.
We won't know that till
Yeah.
not this month, but next month we'll see.
Right.
Yeah, we'll start to see that.
Yeah.
And then we can project.
Great.
White light kills my eyes. Kills my eyes. I don't know why, but
Don't go to the middle school.
I'm not gonna go.
Wear your sunglasses if you go.
I don't wear sunglasses.
Also, they had a problem. They didn't have a problem. John solved the problem in the auditorium with their lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remind me of that. Say that again.
They had, in the auditorium as it existed, there was a light fixture that used a PL light, which is a fluorescent, little U-tube fluorescent,
Yeah.
and an HID light in one fixture. And the way that it was designed was that the PL lights were dimmable. And the HIDs, which shined up to the ceiling, those were your general lighting to when you cleared the room, you would turn on the HID lights. One of the problems was that the HID lights take a long time for them to come on. So the PLs, so when they got the new fixture, all of these new LED fixtures use a 0 to 10 volt dimming signal. And we didn't have those wires in place, but, and they kept saying, we can't do this, we can't do this. And well, because I'm an electrician, I always say, we can do it. Let's count our wires that we have in the pipe. And we counted all the wires, and we ended up with the 2 extra wires we needed to run our 0 to 10 volt dimming on. So they put the new fixtures in. They look great. It's very updated, because the old fixtures were, I think they might have came out of this. They were leftover from the 70s. They were quite interesting, the old fixtures. But anyways, it's there's a new retro fixture in there. It looks great, and the dimming is all provided, and we ended up with a really nice looking auditorium. So
It was probably a $40,000 save by the time we were done. I don't know how many lights you did.
well, it was 8 fixtures total that took care of the space, but there still was a substantial amount of money if they had to pull, because that's all sheetrock ceiling. So if they had to pull all new cables and everything, it would have been quite a lot of money to
Oh,
do
yeah.
that, but we
Good change order.
figured it out.
Mm,
That's great.
great.
I have a question.
I'm sorry. go ahead.
Didn't the total cost of all these come in lower?
Yes,
Yes.
So where do we go from?
they will get a call tomorrow
Okay.
to find out if we could use the extra money.
And if we can, I already got projects lined up.
I bet you do.
I have another potential, actually didn't even talk to Ed about this, so he's gonna hear it for the first time, but I have another potential lighting project that I might be looking at Vogel Wetmore. The outside lighting at Vogel Wetmore is atrocious. It's
Yeah,
just,
it's
and a lot of the globes, those big
Yeah.
round globes, they have been broken, and we can't find replacement globes for them. So Melissa, who is the rep from the lighting company, she's already been down there. They've surveyed it all. They can save the poles, which is really cool because the
Yeah.
poles are beautiful and ornate. We don't want to get rid of those and put new fixtures on the top of the poles. In conjunction with that, there is, although the lighting in that building was updated, there are a circular round recessed can that's a PL light that's used throughout the whole building that was never changed to LED. So we can add that in too to increase those costs and see where she lands on that project. I think that might be a good project where we can get some savings out of it and take care of some of those features that we're having some issues with trying to correct. That's just one.
Yeah. Just let you know, we have all the money. They
Just
they
gotta
sent us the
spend it.
$477,600 at once.
Right.
Wow.
Which is
Really?
not
Yes.
usual.
It's unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's why
really.
you stayed that extra week in Florida.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, it was unbelievable because it was supposed to be on a Friday, which they passed the bonds.
Mhm.
Monday was in our account.
Wow.
It was unbelievable. Never
Wow.
saw that
Never
before.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you're gonna call Hartford, you're saying,
Yeah.
to see if we
Yeah.
can use that?
Yes,
Is that the
yes.
same?
The fellow from Hartford,
Yeah.
who approved all of our projects.
Yeah, they're
Wow.
very specific on what we could use the money from that.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of using it for lighting because then there's some cost savings
Stair
there.
lighting, yeah.
Yeah. You know, cost savings and that cost saving could be used for other things.
And it's an easy project for the state to approve usually.
Right,
you know.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
All right, it's Ally's turn. Technology update.
One other,
Well,
No,
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 ceiling.
tile.
Ceiling
Oh, I thought- I
tile
thought
and-
Ceiling
I
tiles.
thought he jumped over that.
Second and third floor are done. He's coming in hopefully when he has a chance to do it at night.
Yeah, so we're gonna look at that. We're gonna have to do phasing on that one as well.
Mhm.
If, you know, he would really like to get it done during this time frame before the summer gets in and the spring gets in, because his business is gonna pick up. He gave us a super price based on the fact that he would be able to do a lot of the work prior to when his busy season comes. So I think that he's gonna really work with us to try to get that done in a phasing kind of period at night. So I think that we should be able to accommodate him. And then we have the April break as well.
So he did price it for nighttime work.
Oh, yeah, no,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
priced,
Okay.
he wants
He
it,
wanted the job because he didn't want to lay off any of his people.
right.
And he, obviously knew that he'd have to work off
Yeah.
hours because school's in session.
It's the right time to do
He's
it.
probably
Yeah.
used
good.
to work it during the summers when the buildings are empty and vacation, school vacation.
And again, we've gotten a lot of compliments on those two upper floors and just how great, and remember that out of our budget, we did the auditorium hallway and just how great it looks once the tectum ceiling is gone. It just cleans the whole building up nice. And with the painting and stuff that happened this past year, we really transformed that building dramatically.
And even if they get dirty, we can replace those tiles. They're uniform
Yeah.
tiles.
Yeah.
It's not like the spaghetti tile.
Yeah,
which
that's the important thing, because you don't want to be trying to find these specialty
Yeah,
stuff.
no.
So have we seen anything coming from the roof and
Yes.
the new tiles?
Yes.
Bad?
There's two areas right now that we're just kind of waiting for the snow load to get off of the roof. And I've got a call ready to go into the roofing contractor to see if we can chase down. There's probably about 15 to 20 spots
Really?
that we are seeing leaks in. So we are leaving, if the ceiling tiles are really bad, we're replacing them. But if it's just a small spot, we're leaving the ceiling tile there to help us track where the rains,
This is not the roof that we fixed.
No, I
No,
think.
no,
yeah,
No, this is the
Yeah,
existing,
okay.
yeah. Yeah, to be clear, this is the
Yeah.
existing roof that hasn't been touched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Done a lot of work up there then. Jesus, 15 to 20 spots, huh?
Yeah,
We're finishing the floor. You already mentioned that. They're coming in the summer, you said, Barrel and Conover? The
Yes,
gym floor?
yes.
yes.
Maybe I
They wanted that job too. They didn't want to have an outside
I think
state.
there was only like 2 companies from the state of Connecticut that there was like 8
Yeah.
companies at the walkthrough, only 2 of them were from in the state.
Yeah. And he didn't want any other outside state to get it. So he really,
New Jersey had the biggest showing of people. It was amazing. They drove all the way up from New Jersey.
All right, can we go to Alyssa, Ally now?
So I was at the middle school a couple of weeks ago and I got tied up with a project and time just kind of went away from me. But with the lighting, depending what part of the building you're at, it seems like daylight. And all of a sudden I go outside like, hey, it's dark. It's like literally like night and day. It is gorgeous.
Nice.
So at the high school, we have finished the Everyone Learns Wi-Fi initiative. So that is funded by the state. There is an access point at the west side of the gym, which provides Connecticut state-funded Wi-Fi to the parking lot for anybody who needs to use it if they do not have internet access at home. Then we're working on upgrading some power supplies for our servers. We lost a line at the high school yesterday, and during that time, we did have some downtime throughout the entire district. So we are upgrading some of the uninterruptible power supplies so that this will no longer be an issue, and that we have that time that we need when the generator kicks in, so that we, if we have another power outage like that, the high school is the heart of the entire network, so that we remain unaffected. And then I'm working on a 2-month-long cybersecurity study, which we started about 2 weeks ago, but now we're really diving into the data that we're receiving. We're going through about 1 terabyte of data a day to analyze and establish a pattern of what our life in Torrington and our network looks like, so that we're able to analyze anything that doesn't belong. So we're able to react in case of any type of cybersecurity threat. That's all I got.
That'll be
That's all?
happening here.
Man.
Or is it happening
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Every part of the network that we
Yeah.
touch.
The whole network.
If we have people at home, if they touch our network, we'll know about it.
And just to go on top of that too, there's a lot of collaboration that goes on between Ally and I with different things. For instance, the video board that was installed where we put the video board up, and then Ally and her team did all the programming on the board, i.e. the UPSs. I informed Ally that with the UPSs that she purchases, that we would probably do, a matter of fact, I'm going to do a review tomorrow on it, do in-house installation on it, so that we wouldn't have to hire an outside vendor, that we have the tech, we have the people in district that, with my license and stuff like that, that we can do this in-house. So,
Gary.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just Ally, how are we notifying our students and families about the new access to the Wi-Fi and the
I
parking
am
lot?
waiting for the official go-ahead from the state when it's complete. We were one of the first districts to be accommodating, and we're put on the schedule. There are ways where you can actually also roam through different parts of the state and use your own Google credentials, but that is yet to be completed. So the state is still in the testing phase, and while people are able to use it, I'm still waiting for some guidance on the state of what exactly how some of the inner workings work. So, but right now you could actually go up there, you sign, it gives you a website, explains the whole thing, you hit agree, and you're able to access the internet. And it does not touch our network.
Nice.
Nice.
Who'll monitor that? You'll have to monitor that as well, though, for any attempts to get in, or is that?
I am,
outside.
It is completely filtered and monitored by the state. In 12 months, it becomes our responsibility should we want to continue it. However, since it is physically in our building, I am able to see the traffic that passes through.
Of course you are.
So Gary, just watch it with some.
Yeah,
We know the
Yep.
problems we have up there. I'm gonna check my house.
Yeah.
Um,
Anything new blinking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Board goals delegated to this committee. I am, develop a plan to realign TPS facility needs once the new building opens.
So that's something that we need to work on.
Right,
Do we, like, where do
We
you
have-
even begin?
that's what I was gonna say. Does
Well,
anybody have any
that
ideas
would-
where we go with that?
Well, that would be something to ask Mr. Barlow. As far as the actual facility stuff.
So, I mean, when you're going into a new project, one of the things that they do in new construction now is they, with the systems that are put into the facility, they're gonna give us, a lot of these companies that are gonna give us end-of-life timelines. And we can use those end-of-life timelines to build into say a long-term, capital plan. But some of those end of lives may be out 15 or 20 years. So you don't want a 15-year
Right.
or 20-year capital plan. It's not realistic. But certainly within our own, within our own structure, we could build out that capital plan on where the end of life on that stuff is. That goes to Ally as well. I mean, Ally and I were speaking about just earlier before the meeting here about the UPSs and the fact that,
Yeah, sorry.
uninterrupted power supply. So it's basically a battery backup that keeps our network systems up and running. So we had an instance the other day where we had a power outage at the high school. And when the power went down, because of the maintenance on these batteries that, haven't been maintained, and we needed to stay on top of these things and have maintenance schedules and those kinds of things built into plans. The transfer from the generator over to, or from regular utility power over the generator is about 8 seconds. And that's when our network went down. So that's what caused all the problems with Ally and stuff. If we were able to keep that network up for that time, we could have carried right over and just kept going with it. So, hence that's why Ally's doing with the UPS and stuff. But there's a lot of things on her side as well, not just the facility side, on things that we need to look at for regular maintenance that has to happen on an annual, semi-annual, every 5 years, not just the big capital items.
Now, for the new high school, I don't remember the discussion about the generator or age. What do we have at the high school now for a generator? Or do we?
I would go out on a limb and say that, yeah, you're probably gonna have a generator. To what capacity or to what level the generator provides services to the building, I do not know, but
Maybe that's something we can
from an
think about.
emergency egress lighting perspective, you're gonna have a generator.
No, that I know. I mean, maybe, do you think we'll need something more? Maybe you can think about that.
Well, that's gonna be a discussion with SLAM, based on the needs of the facility. And, because remember, there's a pool of money
No, I know.
and everybody's pulling their
Yeah,
bits
yeah.
out of that pool. So, we want to make sure that there's balance amongst all of the money, that we end up with all of the things that we want in a building, and that we're not taking too much away. So, we'll certainly have that conversation with the engineers and SLAM and decide, is there any other things that we need to make sure that's on the generator? And the big thing right off the bat is going to be the big thing right off the bat is going to be the fire pump.
That I know.
yeah. So,
But I don't know, I don't understand technology. I was wondering technologically
Well,
was.
That would
What
go
we're gonna need,
after
right.
After John, then we go to Ally.
Well, Were you raising your hand or were you just saying?
Yeah, she's got ideas.
Oh, okay.
So from a technology perspective, as we move into the new building, more and more items run on the computer network.
Right.
It's not just, people on their Wi-Fi, it's the camera system. It's going to be the PA system, security, all sorts of emergency communications. There's a lot of things riding on that. And there's probably going to be one single point in the building, the main data closet, that would be fully supported by the generator.
Would that need to be a separate generator?
No.
No,
Not at all.
No.
but so you two will talk about that before
Yeah.
the SLAM meetings. Because I'm worried about technology, but also just thinking about that building, if it's gonna be a community
Yeah.
facility, will
In
it
case
be,
of emergency.
will it be used in case of
Well, and
emergency?
that poses a whole other question in itself because, right now, the middle school is the regional shelter.
Right.
Which there's a generator up at the middle school. So, that's a whole nother question itself with Chief Towie on, is the intention to make this a shelter at some point or not? Or, because that affects and drives the needs of that generator as well.
Correct, that's-
There's a lot of, you're so early in the stage of that, it's certainly something to think about, but yeah, I mean, at Oxford High School where I came from, we had a generator that was 500,000 watts. And, it basically ran about 75% of the building.
Maybe you can reach out to Tom. I don't know, it's the last thing, we don't want to bring that up later.
Now, the one thing that I'll tell you, the benefit to the Oxford one was, yes, there was a 500,000 watt generator there, but at that time, Eversource was offering a load shed program, which is no longer offered by Eversource.
Right.
And they paid for the upgrade to that generator. The original generator was 175. They paid for the upgrade to 500. So there was no extra expense out of the taxpayers'
Right.
pocket. So a lot of times with grants, school construction grants, yet you can't grab extra money from another entity because it
They
affects
deduct it.
right. They deduct it. So you got to be careful with what you're doing with that.
So you'll start the discussion with Towie, so. I mean, we're only, that's 8 months off from the drawings being done. We don't want to go back later and, or at least find out what his interest is. Either we do it now or we just don't do it all.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly something that we can have a conversation with him and see what he's thinking.
I mean, if the middle school is appropriate, everything's good.
Right, but we don't know.
Probably
I
just
I would
keep it
I would
that way.
actually defer that one off to Sue and Ed. That's more in their
Yeah,
realm as
Well, the city
having
is-
a conversation with Chief Towie about emergency shelters and preparedness and stuff
Okay.
like that's.
I can talk with him about it.
All right, thank you.
I'm just a small guy in the corner office.
And then with so we maintain and fix and replace the the generator at the middle school. If something happens to it, we take care of all that. How does that work? If it's considered emergency? It's
Oh,
for
yeah,
emergency use.
so we have we have four generators in the district. And even though the middle school is a regional shelter, the generators provide emergency egress lighting for our buildings. So the maintenance and repairs and upgrades and stuff on our generators is completely on us. I have a regular, I have regular maintenance that comes in quarterly. They check the oils, they check the batteries,
Yeah. But I didn't know if the middle school had a larger generator for an emergency situation. to
No,
kinda
they
run
did
more stuff.
upsize the generator to put some more of the building systems on it, but it's not big enough that it runs the whole building.
Oh, okay.
Will it run the kitchen? Does that thing run the kitchen or no?
It does have some of the kitchen equipment on it, yes. Because
because it's a
that's
shelter.
part of the
No, that's what I'm
shelter.
asking. You said
yeah.
it wasn't much
Yeah.
different, so.
Yeah, I didn't know if lights in the gymnasium and the
Right.
kitchen would be on there, because if you needed to get large. group of
Correct,
people
but
shelter-
not every one of the classroom lights is on.
Right,
The
right,
hallways are on because it's part
Right.
of emergency egress and
right.
a lot of the computer systems, right, Ally, are not on.
Just
Which
curious.
building?
I think
Middle-
it's-
the middle school.
The middle school, I'm not too sure.
Design
Yeah.
desk.
Yeah.
If they want it.
Not the high school.
Do we have a say in that
In what?
relative to how many of our buildings are offered as?
I don't know.
Because emergency shelters takes on a whole
Oh,
new
yeah.
definition
Yeah,
of
yeah,
other
yeah.
things
Yeah.
it can
Right.
be utilized for, so I would be actually a little bit concern to have multiple of our buildings
Right.
on the X for being used for other purposes.
Well, I honestly, I kind of think because I was heavily involved with the Red Cross and Chief Towie we did an evaluation of the Northeast Regional Shelter, which is the middle school. And I honestly, I don't think that they're willing to change. They've got an established plan for that building. They know how they've got stuff staged up there. They know how they're gonna run their operation. It's on a master plan within the state of Connecticut. So I don't think they're just gonna take that and scrap it and say,
Well,
oh,
I'm not saying that, I'm just
Yeah.
saying we don't want to
Yeah.
design a building, and have the mayor come to us, or somebody come to us and say, we were thinking that it's a community building, we're gonna use that for a shelter. Because then we have to, we have to change power, we gotta change the wire, we gotta change the generator.
But I think like John said, it's linked into a big
Right.
safety structure,
Yeah.
plans,
Okay.
information, capability, all of that stuff. They have to look through a bunch of different things. So I'll talk with Pete about it and I'll be able to get that information.
So the other thing I was thinking about the new building was, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of things in that building that are valuable to some people, whether it be memories,
Oh,
like
the old building.
Ellen may want to buy her old locker. I don't know. But I think that we
You have a
should
locker?
start as administration and the board to start to think about
Yeah,
that. So
we
that
should
at the
have
time
something.
that it's ready to start discarding things, that we have some kind of plan in place for
A tag sale
a
or
tag
something.
sale
Yeah.
or something
Yeah.
where the community has access to
Yes.
things rather than us just disposing them. Clearly, we may need some stuff for other buildings first, but
Yeah.
like what would define that? Is it something that everyone's interested in doing? What do we want to do with that stuff? And not everything, right? Not everything can just easily be moved and sold, but
Right.
there are some things in there that may have value.
Right.
You know,
I'm
Bob,
sure all the athletes will want their things on the walls if they can get them, if we're gonna reuse them, but.
Oh, we'll probably use that.
Yeah, as long as,
Yeah,
otherwise,
those will
if-
go into the news.
well, we'll see how they turn out after demolition.
so Bob DeMalley had actually reached out to the Historical Society and they want to put together a whole thing for how the community ended up getting this project. And they're gonna do a video on the Historical Society website. So I'm just gonna meet with them, but then that might be like a carry-on to all of this stuff.
All right.
You know, so I think it's just really if people
Good
start
idea.
thinking about like what could be, and then whatever, I mean, I'm seeing it, if there's proceeds, like a student activity account would be set up,
Mhm.
and then we can use it for things that we need in the new building that might not be covered by, you know, for some of the pathway stuff, maybe. I'm just thinking. But I
And
think
there'll be-
people would have interest in it, right?
There'll be a whole discussion with SLAM as well about some of the existing stuff that's in the building that's gonna be utilized in the new building as well.
Right.
You know,
Yep.
there's certainly a lot of equipment and
Right.
stuff in there that, you know, for instance, the UPS that Ally's purchasing has a 10-year lifespan to it. So after the building gets demoed, then we're not throwing that in the garbage. It's gonna be
Hopefully we get
repurposed
it out
someplace.
before it's demo.
Right.
Right, yeah. So I think it's just keeping everybody
no, right,
thinking
yeah, no, I
about
get
it, not that, obviously, no decisions on that
Yeah.
we made for a while, but.
Piece of the gym floor.
Well, it's funny, I walk around the building and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna save that, we're gonna save that. we're gonna-
Yeah.
Right.
No, you don't, the floor may have
Yeah, what,
something underneath. it.
yeah,
You
the
don't-
floor, does it
It'd be
have
dirty.
toxic material? underneath it?
Asbestos underneath
Yeah.
it.
Asbestos, yeah.
There's
so
Don't
I
bring it
think
into
we
your
can-
home.
we can
There's an
do that.
asbestos barrier underneath.
It'll
Not
be
the
disposed.
bleachers.
Well,
Not
if
the
each,
Do you want the
if
bleachers, Ellen?
Yeah, I do.
I'll give you a good deal on the
each
bleachers.
resident takes 5 pounds of asbestos out.
There you go. We can do it.
That'll solve all our problems right there.
Yeah.
That would. that
We
would-
can upsize the generator.
Right.
Yeah, we would, that would help us out a lot.
Right. So to avoid pilfering, it may be good to have a plan
Yeah.
before that
Yeah.
time comes. So people aren't loading up their
Yeah.
cars.
So,
Yes, John.
Well, and this building becomes redundant too, and I wonder if
Yes,
there aren't
that's
things here
true.
that are worth
Oh, yeah.
something to some
Yeah.
people.
Well, you
Yeah.
get salvagers taking all this trim and all this.
Our
Yeah, that's what I'm
buildings,
thinking.
yeah.
this-
If you remember when
This
Vogel
building is
Wetmore was
beautiful.
done over, we saved a lot of those figures and cleaned them and all that stuff.
Bas-relief,
Yeah.
Yeah.
things like that.
I know those curtains are worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The switchboard. Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Another controversy.
Another controversy from years ago. Yeah.
Well, I guess I missed that one. But
Yeah.
oh, that was an issue. Implementing the capital plan as presented.
Yeah.
We'll see
So-
what we got for budget first, probably. but-
Well, are we choosing to change anything on a capital plan? Before, before we're asked to possibly make cuts, is what I think that is saying.
Oh, so it sounds
So
like
that'd be budget committee anyway, wouldn't
Well,
I think this is just tracking to make sure we
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
do what we said we were gonna do.
yeah, are we still
Right.
doing that?
Yeah.
I mean, are we still
I'm
doing
not, I
the
don't even know
capital
how to get
plan?
on there.
Yeah,
Are we doing it?
Yeah.
remember we
Well, they
changed the
said-
different
Isn't
type
that before we
of
go?
computers we're getting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we did,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gave us,
Yes.
I think it's 10 year, or you're just 5, or you're updating to a 10.
We're, next year, you guys asked for a 10-year plan for next year, so we're gonna stretch it out to 10 years. The first year or so of that 10-year plan will be, there'll be not a tremendous amount of stuff on there, but as the construction stuff starts to come in for the high school, we can implement that end-of-life stuff into that plan and kind of develop it out further so that we can draw those things down.
And are there, the other thing would there be any changes that we want to make to it? Change the rotation of when we do things on the
Yeah, I don't know.
submitted
Well,
capital plan?
the change we made, remember, we put in
Right.
The
Torrington
computers,
for,
right,
Yeah.
we've done that.
walkways.
curving.
the
But,
curving.
The
I
curving,
mean,
yeah.
but just for, we put that in before.
That's
we
already in
submit
the
it.
already-
It's
We did.
submitted, so we
Right,
can't make
right.
changes
Right.
now
Right.
until we
So-
get our budget
I mean,
number.
so the capital plan, the way I view the capital plan is it's a working document. It never has a start or stop period that there's, if I walk into a building tomorrow and I see something that we need to stick on that capital plan down the road, it's on that plan already. It's gonna always be a living, ever-changing, ever-working document. As far as implementing what, or prioritizing what we want to do in the plan, I mean, obviously, we know that the plan has to be in by January 1st, right? December
Yeah.
3rd.
December.
December 31st, January 1st.
Yeah.
So, maybe in the facilities meetings in, September, October, that's when we start to discuss, how we've built the plan over the year, what we've added to it. Now let's talk about our prioritization before the plan gets submitted to the city.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best way to manage that.
Agreed. Yep.
But like I said, I have a section on my whiteboard. It says capital plan projects, and if something comes up, I write it down on my whiteboard so that I know this is something that has to go into the plan.
I think we've never really had a venue to
Yeah.
discuss the
Right.
capital in
Right.
advance. I think that this committee is
That
gonna be
was
really great for
perfect.
us
Yeah.
not talking about
Yeah.
capital
Yeah.
in December when we're trying to
Right.
submit the capital plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody online? Anybody on Zoom, I mean? I haven't notes down. Topics for future meetings.
I would say, window project. I think it's safe to say it's not done yet, so,
Well, I think we'll have an update on just about everything.
yeah, update on the security grant.
Yeah, you can take the lighting
Lighting
project off
it's
at this
done.
point.
Yeah.
Technology update, obviously.
And update on the Alliance grant. Hopefully we can use that money. for other
ACE
things.
minus C3, or C2.
I'd like to see if you guys could look at in April or May, field usage.
What do you mean?
Put that out as a topic of discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
like, in what context is my question? I mean, I don't care. I just want to know.
Multiple complexes, one, looking at the use of our fields and when we're under construction.
Under construction, yeah.
But also with the new implemented fees, how that's gonna impact us for the using city fields.
you seen that?
No, what's the fees?
So there's some question, we might be working out an arrangement for our current usage of the fields, but I think it's a good idea for us as a board to understand, how much we use the fields, what fields we use. And that may be maybe the athletic department can get that information.
Yeah, I spoke to Brett today.
Yep.
Because they're gonna charge us $200 every time we use Futures Park.
That's what they're thinking. We'll see how it
Right,
goes.
well, we got
Yeah.
So, because when the high school is being built, okay, we're gonna have to, we've already discussed, Barry and I and Mike McKenna, where we're going.
Right.
So we may be, as I said to Brett, I don't want to be charged all these times when, because we don't charge, the only thing we charge them is if they bring a custodian and they have to pay the custodian.
Well,
So
so
I-
talk, also, go ahead.
I just think that we need to
Yeah.
have an
Right, I agree with you.
understanding of
Yeah.
what this looks
Yeah.
like for us
Yeah.
in the
And that,
future.
that would have been my question. Do we charge the city for our fields, for the Board of Ed fields, which are all city fields, but like when they use the high school fields or the middle school fields? That's my-
No,
No.
The
No,
only
so there
charge
is
would
no
be
charge.
if there's
If
a
there's a
reason to have.
if they have a
Custodian.
custodian or if
Right.
they need the,
Right.
use the press box.
And what are those fees usually that we charge?
I have to look at
During
the
the
schedule.
policy, yeah.
Because that would be good information to know.
Yeah.
And like, how often are we charging those fees? So then we have an idea of what our fees are and how much totally we've taken in on those fees. And then we got a good argument, hopefully, against the $200 usage cost every time.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
I'm sure they're looking at it as a way to generate revenue.
Of course, yeah.
So, I mean, I just think we need to look
You're gonna
at the
charge
whole.
yourself to generate revenue. Okay.
Right,
I'm
so,
sorry.
The worst idea you've had.
right. But I think, us having an understanding of how that impacts us, because I think if we weren't building a new high school,
Mhm.
this may not even be as big of a
Correct.
concern, but I think,
No, I agree, but I'd
And-
like to see the data that we have of our charges
right.
and, how much each time and then the total.
Yep. Yeah, and I've already spoken to the mayor about this because I think, we need to work out some kind of
Yeah.
agreement because it seems odd that the taxpayers pay for the fields
Right.
and then they pay again to use them. So I think there's some things and
Right.
they're open to that. So
Right, right.
let's see, but I think it's a good idea because when, like
Mhm.
yesterday when this was going on, people were asking me and I'm like, I don't know, I think we do one night game at Fusenage, but I'm not really sure how much
Yeah,
we
yeah,
use the
yeah.
field.
I can understand the charge like with us.
Yeah.
The custodian is a budgetary impact to us, so I understand that charge.
Right, because it's not if it was our event, then that would be different, because we probably budgeted for that, right?
Right.
It was our
Correct.
event, we know we need a custodian at that event, and so we will, it will come out of our budget. But if
And-
it's someone else's event, we didn't schedule the event, we don't know it's gonna be there, so, so I get that.
And I'm
Yeah.
not sure, like, when they do fireworks and stuff, do we charge for like all those kind of events? I didn't think we
Middle
did.
school, I
Yeah,
don't think so.
I don't think so
Probably
either.
The
not,
fees are waived.
yep, that's what I thought.
because it's a
So,
city function,
Right.
Right.
They ran just recently, Parks and Rec ran back in the fall, they ran a movie night over there. They had
In the parking lot,
cars in the
yeah.
parking lot.
right.
Yeah.
So,
We
Um,
didn't charge.
Yeah.
We didn't charge anything.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I spent extra time hooking up an outlet for them to run their equipment down there that wasn't there, and we didn't charge them a dime even for that stuff.
I think we need all that information, put on one sheet saying how, this event happened, there was no charge. This event happened, it was no charge, and especially the big ones, the fireworks, how many families go to those events? I mean, and there's no charge.
Right.
I mean, it's like.
and a lot of these things are great community events, and I
Right.
certainly don't want the board to consider charging and
Of course,
kind
no,
of
we
shutting
don't.
out these
But
kind
that's-
of things.
but-
So
Yeah.
just for us to have a full
Yeah.
understanding,
Yeah,
because
to
it
show
is,
show the whole picture when we are having this discussion with the with the mayor, or whoever we're having.
Right,
discuss
even
it.
community members, like
Yeah.
I was a little bit embarrassed yesterday that I was like, I don't really know how many games we play down there. And,
Right,
you
right,
know, I think
right.
it's just good for us to have an idea.
Yeah.
And-
10% of our games. if
I
that's
can
what it is.
definitely say that, since I've been on, there's been an open dialogue between my department and Parks and Rec and different entities that want to use our buildings and stuff. We've been very open and forthcoming with them on allowing them to use the facilities and stuff, and more accommodating than we've ever been before. And so one hand washes the other, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Can I just ask where this idea came from? Like, was it proposed in somebody else's
It
budget?
seems that it was
District budget.
proposed 2 years ago.
Well,
then-
from whose budget? Who?
Was it Park and Rec?
requested it?
Park and Rec discussed it. They said they had open meetings. I'm just telling you what Brett
Well,
told
they
me
may, but
today.
Yeah.
2 years ago, and then the COVID hit and everybody just shut
Yeah.
down. And so they had another meeting this year. And that's when they came up with everything.
Okay.
Let's see. Comments for the good of the order?
Done right now.
All set.
Nick?
All good.
So,
Good.
Ed? Sue?
All set, thank you.
Ally? Okay. Fiona?
Welcome back, Ed. Happy to see you in person.
With the
Ally,
tan.
John, thank you guys for everything you're doing.
I brought my
Yeah.
wife back too. Just wanted to-
Did you have to drag her back?
I had a drink.
Yeah, poor
I'm
Alice.
sure. I'd be Alice.
All
Yeah.
set, thank you.
John?
This is a vast improvement over the personnel committee, our use of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Committee dedication,
Usefulness.
far more productive.
Yeah,
Personnel everyone.
makes more sense.
Indeed.
Kath? Soder?
I'm all set.
Yes?
Just as point of information, so for the high school baseball team, all of the varsity games are played at Fusnich Park. So I think there's probably, obviously there was no schedule last year because of COVID, but this year the schedule is probably online, would be soon. Wilka Tech also utilizes it for a fair amount of their games because their home field is in really rough condition.
How many games is that? You know? Just curious.
I don't, because I honestly, I don't know what the schedule is yet.
I think at least 10, I know that.
It's at least 10.
Well, at
At least
least,
10.
yes.
And I think they usually try to do a couple night games because the kids and the parents really like the night games better.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
Maris?
She's gonna type something in the chat.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, right? Don't talk to me.
To have a motion for adjournment?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay, we have.
Nikki Arman, 6:50.